Hi everyone. Hi. Today is June 26th. No, it's June 27th, 2022. And it's late at night. Oh my goodness. It's 10 o'clock on the dot. It's 10 p.m. here in LA, Los Angeles. And you know what? I'm going to do a short video. I don't know how long this is going to take me. And I'm going to try to get the information right. This is on how to analyze a deal on a property that you find, however you find it, whether it be on foot, going out actively searching out there, or you belong to, you're a member on one of these real estate sites, or what have you. But however you find the deal, now I'm going to tell you how to analyze the deal. And I just learned this myself, so forgive me if I stumble and fail. I might have to cut and paste in this video and then or redo the whole thing over. But anyway, I just learned this myself recently, and so what I'm going to do is pass it on to you. And I'm going to give credit where credit is due. So fortune builders, they are actually the first company, I believe, that I actually knew about, who actually sent me information about real estate years ago. I mean, I swear it was about 2000, I want to say 2003-ish, something like that. Anyway, something like that. But anyway, yeah, years and years ago, I used to get information on, maybe it was 2005-ish, not quite sure, but anyway, so a long time ago. And so now I'm going to pass on this information from one of their one of the people. I'm not going to mention his name, but I probably should, but I don't want to mention anybody's name in this video until I speak with them. I'm sure they don't mind, but I do want to give credit where credit is due to fortune builders, because boy, he just kind of broke it down. So I hope I do the same for you today. This is how you analyze a deal in 5 steps. The first step, you want to go out and actually find a property that is discounted, however discounted it is, preferably at the cheapest. We want to find them at the cheapest rate we can find. Now, when you're finding these properties, you don't want to just analyze every property, or what's the word I'm looking for? You don't want to analyze every property, because not every property you'll find is not going to be for you after you go through the process of analyzing the deal, and you'll find that out early. So you want to only pick those deals that seem right for you, that seem like in the negotiation process, you can get through that deal, or it could be easily negotiated, not easily negotiated, but you could see yourself negotiating that piece of property, however you do that. And I'll show you in the next step, and the third and fourth, and there are 5 steps to this, so I'll show you that a little later on. But so I'm not going to explain it like he did, because those are not my words, and that's not how I talk, at least not right now. But you want to try to just pick those ones, and I'll say what he said a little bit, the ones where the fruit is hanging the lowest, so that seem like what is the word I'm looking for? I'm stumbling over my words, and I'm gonna keep this video just so I can analyze myself on how I do videos. But you want to, reasonable. You want to do the deals that seem reasonable, okay, to do. So like if you have 100 deals and 50 of them don't seem like they're in your neck of the woods, then don't do those 50. Do the 50 that are, because those 50, even though it's 50 less than the deals you started out with, even though it's 50 less, start with those deals, because you'll find that they're the ones that are most valuable. The other 50 will waste your time, and time is valuable now when you're trying to analyze a deal, because time is money. And so that's how I look at it, at least for now. Well, that is true. Time is money. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to pick those properties that are first going to make sense and make a lot of sense, and you can actually see yourself negotiating the deal. Okay, the second step is, and I'm going to look through my notes, and I'm also doing like two things at once, trying to go over my prayer request and do this video. And I'm sorry, I did say, I said the first step is filtering is the word I really want to use, filtering. So like I said, if you start off with 100 deals, but 50 of them you can't see yourself negotiating, or they don't make sense to you, then don't drop those 50 and just use the other 50 that make the most sense. Okay, and let me see. The ones that most likely you'll be able to buy and that have a lot of distress to them, okay, so I'll stop right there for now. 2, we call the discovery process. You want to find out the motivation, something you don't already know, something that that you haven't read on maybe Zillow, if you got it off of Zillow or another website, something that you don't know about the property or the person, or both, that lets you know what is the motivation for the person even selling the property. That's what you want to know. And so I got this from Fortune Builders, one of their spokespersons for their show, the Fortune Builders show. What you want to do is find out what is motivating them to even sell this property, because that's what's going to give you an edge on the negotiation process. Okay, and he called it like a black swan. I'm going to call it gives you that edge of whether you win the contract or not. It gives you that edge, or the offer. That's what I want to say. So whether you win that offer or not. So knowing that, what's motivating the person to sell, it could be a whole lot of things. It could be somebody just lost their job. I mean, that's the motivation. You don't have any money to pay, so they're behind on payments, and they have to move quickly. Or God forbid, sickness, but that could be a motivating factor. Or someone may have to take care of a relative in another state and all these things, and so those are motivating factors. Or they might have to downsize for whatever reason. Okay, so you want to find that out, and you but this is, from everything that you read about the property and everything that you ask either the realtor, either the agent who listed it, or either the seller directly, you want it to be something that you don't already know. So you want to, after you figure out that, yes, this is a property I would like to analyze and possibly do, then you want to find out that what's that edge, what is that that one little thing, or maybe it's a whole lot of things, but you have to let them tell you, and you have to do that by asking questions. So you have to call them and say, hey, what is your motivating, just by, you have to develop a rapport with them by asking questions. You can outright ask them, what is motivating you? What can I do to help you with this deal or in the offer? What can I add in the offer that you would like, And so you may get it from right there, what their motivation, why they want to even sell the property. And that could be the one thing that separates you from all the other offers they get. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, this is when you actually analyze the deal. Okay. I'm going over my notes right now because, like I said, I'm just learning this myself, and I'm actually having a good time sharing it with you because I will tell you this. Well, I won't tell you that yet. I'll wait till the end to see how you like this at first. Don't look at my delivery. Just look at the information period and take that and run with it and do whatever you like with it, ethically. But I'll tell you maybe at the end. Maybe I'll share it with you. Okay, so step 3 is when we analyze the property. Okay, and we like to use what we call the deal analyzer. Look it up, the deal analyzer. Okay, and then it is. I've seen a lot of tools that you can use to analyze property in these recent years. So this is just another good one. They have a lot. I mean, I can think of 4 right off the bat, and this is another one. Just real nice. Plug in the numbers, and boom, and the numbers tell you what to offer, how much to offer it for, what's the after repair value, and a whole bunch of other things that you need to know to make that offer. Okay, so number 4 is what we're going to call the offer process. And I'm sorry I'm going so slow because I am still learning, so just bear with me. And I will be posting this video, by the way. Forgive me for not, if I don't sound professional or I don't look professional. I do have my coat on because I have the heat on, but for some reason when I sit right here, it feels like heat with my coat on, but it doesn't feel like warm with it off. And I'm cold natured anyway. All right. So number 4, we're on number 4, and we have one more step to go after 4, the offer process. Okay, so this is when you're either going to call up the agent or the seller, whoever you've been dealing with, or you're going to meet with the seller, or you're going to and so what you're going to do in this process, this is called the offer process. You are going to put price aside and ask them, okay, besides price, let's set price aside, is there any other thing, or are there any other things you would like to see in the offer besides a low, a higher, they want the most they can get, I'm sure of the property. But is there anything else besides price that you would like to see in the offer that can help you or make this offer go smoother? And some of them might say, yeah, they need moving assistance, they need a quick closing, or they might want to slow the closing down and wait until they get whatever they need, you know, to the closing, there's a whole bunch of things, but this is what you need to ask them during this step. Step 4 is the offer process. So putting price aside, is there anything else, or are there any more things you'd like to see in the offer? So ask them, what would you like? That's what we're here for, to help. You know, and if we can help, that's what we'll do. And, you know, I'm not going to mention his name because actually I did forget his name, and that's a shame, but I still don't want to mention it. But anyway, when I was listening to the video that I actually saw, and you can watch it too, you know, this is just my video. Some of you may choose to see his because he's really professional. He really explains it to a T, and I understood it, and that's how I know he really explained it well. So I'm trying to do the same. It's not working, but that's okay because one day I'll get there. But anyway, so that's what we're here to do. Moving assistance, they might say they need, you know, like he said, somebody needed, they needed a vehicle to even move to the city that they were moving to before the closing. They needed that money to get, you know, to move, to be able to move, to buy a vehicle to move. And so they did that for them, I believe. I think he said they put the money in escrow so they could use it before the, I think before the, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but anyway, they did that. And that they found that out through the offer process by asking them, is there anything else that you would like to see in the offer, you know, to help you. And so this is what they told them, and so they did it. And so that is what separated them from the other offers, I believe, among other things that I'm probably missing. So I advise you to go and watch that video too. And you can see it's publicfortunebuilders.com. And so let me see, what else am I? You know, I'm going to go back and take it back to step 3, because step 3 is analyzing the deal. But so what you're going to do is actually go out to the property too. And you're going to use the information that I'm giving you right now in step 4 to present an offer. Okay, so but number 3, step 3 rather, analyzing the property that we do in the deal analyzer. You're going to actually go out there to the property. If you are in another state, I assume you can have someone go and do it for you. There are virtual ways that you can do it, you know, right from your home, where you don't have to go to the actual property yourself. I mean, if someone, if you know someone in that state, I would suggest you start somewhere where you may know someone who could go for you if you're going to be doing it in another state, and they are there, and they could, you know, you might have to train them a little bit on what you're looking for, and you can pay them, you know, you can pay them a fee. So you can hire someone. They love to be paid, like, I don't know, a couple $100 for going out there to do that, to just at least check it out. And I'm sure if you get a finder's fee of even $5,000, and I know people get upwards to $10,000 and upwards to $20,000 in finder fees, depending on the deal and how much, you know, room you have to get that much. But and you have to leave enough profit for the end buyer also. So, but I'm saying even $5,000, I'm sure someone you know in another state if you paid them out of that, a couple $100 just to see the property, someone you trust, so if you don't trust anybody like me, you may want to do it in the state where someone is that okay? And yeah, sometimes you might have to train them, and then so if you were going to pay them, I don't know, just say $500 to just go out there and make sure the property exists and to look into it, to make sure that if it's a fixer-upper, just make sure that it is what they say it is while you're not there, and that it actually exists. But anyway, so that you can pay the person. You have enough to pay somebody to do that, and I'm sure they'd be glad to do that. And maybe if you decide to invest in that city, if you decide to invest in that city, if you find out that, and you did your market research and everything, and you find out that that's a hot market for you to do it in, then you could keep paying that person. Maybe you say, hey, on this day, or it'd have to work around your schedule if they're a full-time employee at a 9-to-5 job. But anyway, you work it out with them, and maybe they don't mind doing it every time you invest in a property. That's extra money for them, at least could be. Okay. And this is the last step. The last step is, I am so bad at this, but I'm going to get good at this because it's very important. Follow up. Okay, so you follow up if your offer isn't initially accepted. Okay, and I just thought about something that I need to follow up on myself. I just thought about that. So if your offer is not accepted in step 4, okay, then you need to do your follow-up. Okay, and oh my goodness, hold on. Okay, and so you need to find out these when you are following up, or before you do this step, you need to find out early on in the process these 2 things. Number 1, you need to find out, because you have to ask the agent or the seller. These are things you're just going to have to find out and ask about if you want to know. But when the deposit is due, so you're going to find those dates out before this step. When the deposit is due, and then the buyer has to remove all the contingencies, and you need to find out that date when the buyer has to remove all their contingencies. Those 2 times are the important times you need to, hey, if your offer wasn't accepted initially, you can go back and be like, because maybe they didn't put their deposit in. So now your offer, comes in, and that buyer's deposit isn't in. So, hey, here's my offer. Maybe your offer was too much initially, but somehow now your offer, maybe your offer was too low initially, but now it looks good because nobody has any money in yet, and it was due today. So here you are with an offer. So some money looks better than no money. Also, you need to ask early on when the buyer has to remove all the contingencies. When is that date? So at that time, you can also present, the offer. And, and I'm going to add this in because I heard this from someone else, very popular online in the real estate, but I'm going to add this. Some people do offer a high price, And I'm gonna get this, and I'm not. I hope you really get this good. Nothing wrong with it because it may work for them. You know, I actually listened to someone a video. I listened to a video where they were saying, you know, they just offered what what the seller was asking for, and it worked for them. And they were good at structuring deals also. What I'm going to say is learn the formula. I'm not going to say it on this. That's another video. But learn the formula to analyze the deal. You know, especially when you're getting funding from people, the formula has to work. The numbers have to work. And if it's not cheap enough or low enough, and you need funding from someone else, you know, you have to work on their terms. And so that formula has to work. The numbers have to come out. Don't ever, well, I'm going to say this because I think it's a good rule of thumb. Just go by your numbers. Don't ever say, oh, I lost out on an offer because my offer was too low because I did that formula. Then those offers, just don't count those. But you still work with your formula, and you count the ones where your formula does work on, and they might not accept it still, but that's still that was a potential deal. It may not have gone through, but all I'm saying is don't hike up your buy price just because you think or the seller wants a higher price. Because like I said, this is why you do your follow-up process. But previous to the follow-up to this last step, which is step 5, that's why we ask, when is the deposit due? Because some people might not come through, you know, for whatever reason. The deposit didn't come through, but now here's your offer. It's the offer that you know, the formula works. And so, but sometimes maybe some people will put their deposit in. So then, you know, you just move on to another deal. There are many of them out there. So don't ever cut just blame things on your formula. Keep your formula, remain the same. It works. Believe that it works. It works because I see all of them do it. I'm not going to share that yet, but it works. Okay. And that's it. Those are the 5. I left out a whole lot. And you know, pretty soon I'll probably redo it as I practice and say it. I'll redo it again, and so it might be a new video. I don't know when, but I'll just go over the 5 steps again. The first step is to filter out your deals. Wherever you get your deals from, you need to filter out, and the ones that make the most sense. Not every deal out there is for you. Those might be for somebody else. You know, so you filter out the ones that seem most likely, that seem the ones most likely you'll be able to buy. Okay. Number 2 is the discovery process, and that is when you find out what is motivating the person to sell anyway, or the things that are motivating them to sell. It might be one, it might be more than one, but you need to find that out in step 2, and that's the discovery process. Step 3 is called the where you actually analyze the property. You have to go out there and see the property. Make sure the picture's online if that's where you looked first. Make sure the home is the home that you see. It matches. Whether it's a fixer-upper or it's just ready, but this is when you actually go out to the property. And you're going to use the information in step 4, which I didn't get to yet. Well, I did, but we're going to do it again. Step 4 is the offer process. And the offer process is when you're going to actually present the offer to either the agent or the seller, whoever you're dealing with. Some people deal with the seller directly if it's a for sale by owner. You could be dealing directly with the owner. Sometimes an agent lists for sale by owners also. So, but whoever you're dealing with, you're going to either do the offer process with the agent or the seller directly. And so this is when you're going to ask them, are there any special terms that you would like to see in the offer? Ask them what they want, because then the offer becomes what they want. So how can you deny that? I mean, you can, because many people could ask that, but this is what's separating you now from everybody. Okay? And so you ask that. And then once they have 10 people like you who's also saying, hey, what do you want in your offer process, and their prices, and everybody offers the same price, then it just becomes who they want to work with. So well Trishonda, Joey, she has she offered 100,000, and the other 9 offered 100,000 also. She asked me what terms I wanted, and she put it in the offer. The other 9 people did also. So now it just becomes it comes down to who they want to work with, who they feel comfortable with. I mean, because paper is paper is paper is paper. The same thing could be, offers are offers are offers are offers. I mean, a good one. So all 10 of them are good to them. But so I'm just I'm just trying to tell you then, because sometimes, you may have a lot of people, you may have a lot of people offering who know how to offer just like you. They know how to ask them, what do you want in the offer? And they know they use that same formula. So now you have all the people, with the same offer, basically, is what I'm just trying to create a scenario like that. So then I'm just saying it comes down to who they want to work with, who makes them feel comfortable, who can get the job done like boom, 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 ASAP. Well, not really, because they're not going to know that. But most of the time it comes down to who they feel comfortable with. Especially it's kind of sentimental. They may be leaving a home they don't even want to leave. So you really also have to be sensitive, because some people are like they lost their job, or they, somebody unfortunately, God forbid, they get sick. They had to move out of state, or sell the house quickly because they divorced, or whatever it is. And so it boils down to who they feel comfortable with. So that's why you do have to build a rapport, and you do have to make people feel comfortable and let them know that you care about their situation. And then we're down to number 5 again, the follow-up. Follow-up. 2 things you need to ask before this step is ask either the seller or the agent. The agent, I think, prevalent. When is the deposit due, and when are all contingencies set to be removed? The buyer contingencies. Okay? God bless. And hopefully, this won't take this much time. Before, it only took 27 minutes in the video I watched. So we'll see how long this video is. All right.